the schools are closed, and obviously the students are home. Some students are still doing exams, but we have even students from last year who are still wondering, how do I move forward after school? How do I get a scholarship? For example, they're unable to get to do their degrees. They can't afford the fees. They don't even know how to begin to look for that money. We'll get answers from experts. We also have those people who are job hunting for years. They have tried to package themselves, but nothing seems to be happening. They also have a response, and ultimately we'll deal with institutions that are already established, and yet we have students in those institutions who are still unable to get money to continue with their education. There's always a solution somewhere. So I want to introduce my guest, starting from my extreme left, Derek Banga. He's an image that we know always on TV, helping us with packaging your image and telling us exactly where you go wrong with a lot of things. Thank you very much, Derek, for coming. And then we have Douglas Owino. He's a consultant and he's a founder of a school you may have not heard. It's called Scholarship Academy of Africa. He'll be telling us what that means exactly. And finally, next to me, we have Wilson Komba. He's a financial aid officer at the United States International University, Africa. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for coming. So on Leadership Forum, gentlemen, what happens is that, one, we give you an opportunity to tell the viewer what exactly you do and how they can benefit from what you do, even if it's not yourself but some other person, and how they get solutions to some of the probing questions. They're unable to know where to start or where to go. So that's the reason why you're here this morning. And I'll start with Douglas. You'll just get your mic off and then just walk to the podium and tell us exactly. You have to get your mic off and just walk to the podium now. And you tell us exactly what it is that the Scholarship Academy of Africa means and what you do exactly. Douglas, from our previous discussion, he is a beneficiary of scholarship, first-hand experience on what exactly you need to do to get your scholarship and how he managed. You know, there's a lot of opportunities outside there. So the other thing is, how do you get those opportunities? How do you know that a particular institution is offering those opportunities? So Douglas Owino, thank you very much, and please proceed. You have about between 5 and 10 minutes.
Thank you very much. Good morning, Kenya. My name is Douglas Owino. I'm a consultant and the founder of Scholarship Academy Africa. First of all, I would like to correct Mr. Mijongo. It's not a school, it's a company.
Okay.
Yeah. So Scholarship Academy Africa is an institution, a social enterprise that will offer consulting, management, and training to students, to corporates, and parents who are looking for financial aid and financial assistance to enable them continue with their education. We are on a mission to eliminate financial barriers that will enable Kenyans, that will enable students to reach their higher education levels through scholarship and financial aid. At Scholarship Academy Africa, we are trying to target the students who, for some reasons, are not able to continue with their studies. And we understand that financing education is a financial burden to both parents and everyone else that is in this country. And I want to say that the reason why we are here is because we want to give these students a second chance, an opportunity to enable them to present themselves in terms of seeking the financial aid in local and international universities. So at Scholarship Academy Africa, our facilitators and our members, they're beneficiary of financial aid, and this journey of scholarship has been this has been their experience. And by actually coming to see us, the students are able to realize and to identify the opportunities that are present, are currently available when they are available, and this gives them that chance to be able to package themselves and apply for these opportunities. So at Scholarship Academy Africa, we have a program that is called Scholarship Preparatory Program, and the objective of this program is to increase the competitiveness of the students in terms of applying for limited scholarship, and also they learn how to the composition and effective scholarship winning essays. And also, we teach them how to engage their passion in terms of appealing for funding for available limited opportunities. There is a quote by Les Brown that says, every day there are 1,440 minutes, and that means we have 1,440 daily opportunity to make a difference. And every young person is looking for this opportunity. So at Scholarship, we say that for every student and parent, the first option that you should have, is to seek financial aid. Number two, if you're not able to win a scholarship, then pay tuition. And if you're not able to pay tuition, maybe you should take a loan. So there are various opportunities, there are various avenues that a student is able to complete their education. We did a survey, and we are asking students, have you ever applied for academic scholarship? And 70% of them said no. And we ask again, will you prefer to apply for scholarship? And over 70% say they yes. So that shows that so many people are looking for opportunities, but not everyone is able to get an opportunity. Thank you very much.
Right, thank you very much. Douglas Owino, for sharing that with us. And of course, Owino is still with us, and he will be telling us exactly how this happened, the beneficiaries so far in their program, and probably he'll also tell us how easy or how hard for a young person to get into this business and start his own consultancy, because a lot of us after school sit and look for white-collar job. I'll now introduce Derek. As Derek makes his way to the podium, Derek works with a lot of organizations, and his area is to improve soft skills. His branding, communication skills, and image consultants, and he knows those are exactly the ingredients that are needed for success. He works for a lot. He works with a lot of institutions and organizations, and he's also a speaker at conferences and obviously at meetings and team building sessions. So Derek is a household name. Derek, please proceed.
Good morning, Ken. Thank you very much. I want to start off with a story. So two exceptionally bright students graduated from university. Let's just call them Chris and Angela. Chris and Angela were then tapped by a well-known firm to start working for them. So Chris and Angela joined this well-known firm, and they began their careers. Now, over the course of 3 or 4 years, something very interesting happens. Remember, these are two students who graduated with exceptional GPAs. Angela, in literally months, gets tapped to be promoted for a higher position. However, Chris still remains in the same entry-level position. Fast forward another 2 years, Angela again has been tapped and promoted to another position. Chris, however, remains stagnant in that same entry-level position. In fact, over the course of 4 years, Angela rises to become a senior manager very quickly, rapid rise through the organization. However, Chris's career stalls. What happened? These were two students who were hired with both the same aptitude when it came to their education. Well, the difference was soft skills. Soft skills. Soft skills is the ability to create rapport, the ability to use interpersonal connections, the ability to use your communication skills to become a success at whatever it is that you do. And that is exactly what I help my many clients do. In fact, in a world where everybody has some sort of qualification, most people have some sort of qualification. Technically, people are really good at what they're doing. The difference between becoming successful and perhaps not achieving that success can simply be boiled down to that toolbox of soft skills. And that's essentially what I do, is I help people fill that toolbox of soft skills. Now, soft skills are not necessarily taught in schools. They're not something that you are automatically born with. They have to be taught. You have to become aware of that. And so, let's look at some of these soft skills that I think are essential for people who are going into the job market, people who want to succeed, who have already been hired, and indeed even people who are already successful. I'll give another example. Margaret Thatcher in 1979 was already the most successful female parliamentarian. She had broken, shattered glass ceilings. However, Margaret Thatcher in 1979, she was tapped to run to lead the Conservative Party, went through 1 year of repositioning, rebranding, re-imaging. So even successful people need to sometimes look at their brand and their image, and indeed these soft skills we're talking about. So whether it is communication skills, of course the bedrock, public speaking, how to write business emails, interpersonal communication, these are important skills that you need to become a success. Let's talk about your image. Your professional image, for example, if you're working in most organizations. What do you need to gain the level of confidence for you to portray a professional image? My organization helps people in that area. Let's look at something like networking. There's a famous saying that your network is your net worth. But many people fail at this simple activity of networking. They don't know how to sell yourselves, because everybody is a CEO, a finance manager, an HR manager, but the organization that you're working for is you. So how do you sell yourself? i.e., how are you able to network? And that is something that we help people with. Have you ever walked into an organization and perhaps the service that you received was not the best service that could have been offered? So customer service, that's another area, soft skills, that you need to put into your toolbox in order to succeed. So whether it's communication skills, whether it is image, whether it is simply equipping yourself with business etiquette, email etiquette, social media etiquette, how to carry yourself out in different situations or being placed in different areas. This ability that you need to have in your toolbox, coupled with your academic qualifications and, of course, your technical aptitude, should be able to help you to succeed. I'd like to quote Barbara Walters, who is a venerable journalist. She has interviewed kings, queens, dictators. She's been in the game for decades. She said, "It is not too melodramatic to say that your destiny hangs on your image and your brand." So let's just look at that. It is not too melodramatic. Melodrama. Melodrama means over the top. However, she's saying it is not over the top. It is not too much to say that your destiny is where you end up. Your legacy, what people will say about you when you are no longer on this earth. It is not too melodramatic to say that your destiny in life hangs on your image and your brand. Be seen, be heard, and be remembered for the right reasons. And so whether you are a young person looking to get started in the job market, whether you are a young professional up and coming through the ranks, whether you're already an established senior manager, and even whether you're running for public office, you're an athlete, you're a brand ambassador, every single person, I think, needs this basket of soft skills. Thank you.
Right, thank you very much, Derek Banga, speaking to us exactly what he does, and I know he's good at what he does. And I'd like now to welcome Wilson Komba. Wilson Komba is a financial, just make your way. He's a financial aid officer at the United States International University. Financial aid officer, you'd wonder what that is and what exactly he does. Well, he's here to answer that question.
Good morning, Kenya. My name is Komba Wilson. I work as a financial aid officer at the United States International University of Africa. Many of you would wonder the roles and the functions of the financial aid office in any institution. Always an institution has its vision and its mission, and we in financial aid office at USIU help students who are needy to access scholarships, access grants, and also access loans. We have we disseminate that information and to any inquiry that comes into our office. We endeavor, try our level best to ensure that all the applicants who come to apply for financial aid office, scholarships, financial aid programs, and also loans are given the information that they require so that they further their education. You will agree with me that funding education, especially in Kenya, is very expensive. Very, very expensive. Parents go through difficult periods when their children have passed exams. They have gotten grades that would enable them join various universities, and only the element of financial brings a challenge into their lives. So we try to help students get the available sources, both internal and external, so that they can further their education. Many challenges are there. As we discuss this, we are going to see that many challenges and how, as an institution, we come in and assist those that we can assist and give advice to our clients on available scholarships, available grants, and available loans from various institutions. We also negotiate with various organizations and institutions to see to it that they can assist some of our needy students or those who would want to join USIU. Therefore, our role really is to help the institution realize its vision and mission. We also try our level best as an institution and financial aid office to help our own needy students, those who are already enrolled and they are going through financial difficulties. Maybe something comes in that you never knew that would come in and interferes with the cash flow of the family. That basically would interfere with the payment of school fees. So we come in and assist those already enrolled students. In case of scholarships, we put in an advert, and then DIV has been running our nation newspaper has been running our advert for scholarships every April of every year. When the KCSE results are out, we put it out the advert so that those interested can apply for the scholarships. Therefore, as we go by, we shall give much and more information, and hope that we shall have a fruitful engagement. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Wilson Komba. He's a financial aid officer, and I understand basically every institution must have this office. We'll find out, is it only their institution that is unique? All right, welcome back to AM Live. We are asking you to share your experience in job hunting and search for scholarship, and of course, branding yourself for the market. In studio, we have Derek Banga. He's a communication consultant. We have Douglas Omondi, also consultant and founder of Scholarship Academy Africa, and of course, Wilson Komba, financial aid officer at USIU Africa. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for coming. And I'll start with Douglas Owino. Your journey, how did you end up being a consultant and specifically for scholarships? Why not anything else? I know you have a story behind this.
Thank you, Mr. Mijongo. I must say that when I was growing up, it was I grew up in a very humble background, and my parents have had a very, very difficult time financing our education. And I remember that at one point I was sent home because of fees. And I thought about it, and I went back to school, and I asked for an appointment with the principal, and I asked the principal, if you send me home now and I come back after 1 month with the fee, will I be able to recover the 1 month lessons that I've missed? And that was a very difficult question. But the journey continues. I was able to get bursary. I was able to get undergraduate scholarship. I got master's scholarship to study in South Korea. And I know this is the journey of most of the families in this country. They're in a financial deficit. Their students, their children are at home. And then there are many opportunities that are available that maybe they don't have the information.
Okay.
So we are bridging this gap to connect the information and those who are seeking these opportunities. And that's why we
So did you do it for yourself, or someone helped you in the journey of, for example, seeking scholarship? How did you, for example, know that the South Korean government is offering scholarships?
I was searching it by myself.
Okay.
The reason is because we have had success stories. I've seen people going to Harvard, Oxford University through scholarship, and I knew and I believed that these opportunities are there. So I took the initiative to search. It was a daily search, checking the eligibility, checking whether it is full, whether it is partial, is it tuition only, and what have you. But my interest was a full scholarship.
Okay, and you got full scholarship.
I got full
How
scholarship.
difficult was it to apply for full scholarship?
I must say that depends. But it depends with how you have packaged yourself at that point of application.
Okay. We'll talk about packaging, but of interest, when I met, it's a very interesting story. I was just standing outside Nation Center, then I meet this young man, and interestingly, we begin a conversation, and he tells me about this. Then I begin wondering, how easy is it for me, even myself, when I wanted to apply for scholarship, because I tried to go to the UK in 2002, immediately I cleared school, but it wasn't as easy. And one of the things was the financial reason. I couldn't do it. But it's very interesting, because he went to Korea for how many years?
3.5 years.
3.5 years, and this guy speaks fluent Korea. It's very interesting, very interesting. So he spoke about packaging, and he will help us with packaging. But aside from looking outside looking and trying to find that possibility that you can continue with your education, you can look inward and you can still find it here, and that's where you come in, Wilson.
Yes.
Yes, tell us, how is it, do you get students, for example, who have passed, who have admission letters at USIU, and from the point of entry, they can't afford their school fee?
Many of them.
Okay.
Many of them. You realize that many students or many KCSE candidates, they pass their exams. And after they have passed the exams, the next thing is joining a university. And financing university education in Kenya is very expensive. So you'll find that we shall get many applications. Applications come in plenty. That is why after KCSE exams, we put up an advert for those who are interested in applying for the scholarships, because after KCSE exams have come out, we have some scholarships that we do offer to those who have performed exemplary well.
Okay.
We are talking about full USIU scholarship. We are talking about a partial full tuition scholarship. We are talking about grants. We have many, and again we have partners that have come on board.
Okay, to help you with that, because obviously you need the finances.
Exactly, but applications come many.
Okay.
Yeah, we have also we have designed financial aid programs that help our own students, because you join, start paying your school fees, and along the way something comes in and interferes with the family cash flow, and that means that either you drop out or you search for more funds. Therefore, it means that you need to come talk to us as financial aid office, then see how we can help you by the already existing financial aid programs that we have designed.
All right, I'll just stop you there. Is this unique? I know you can only speak about USIU, but is it unique to your institution, or all major institutions in Kenya have financial aid offices?
Let me say this, that USIU has many financial aid programs than any other institution for higher learning in Kenya. I have looked at the financial aid programs that Strathmore has. I have also looked at the financial aid programs that Daystar has. We have looked at the Catholic and many other institutions, both private and government institutions for higher learning.
Of course, government has a joint admission board, so that's financial aid already.
Exactly. So we have designed many of them so that our students should not drop out.
Okay.
At least we come in and assist.
And assist. So
yes.
there is hope for students who are coming in,
yes,
and students who are already in the system.
Yeah.
But even with this, you still need to package yourself in a manner that allows the institution to look at you with kind eyes.
True.
And this is one of the most difficult things, because people come with half-truths,
Exactly.
some ultimate lies,
Yes.
and some outright lies.
Yes.
You discover.
True.
And that's where, Derek, perhaps you come in. I know this is a little low, but you still come in to tell them this is, you start from the top. You know?
Absolutely can.
Yeah.
A lot of these scholarships are competitive. You don't just apply and you're automatically awarded a scholarship. You have to go through some sort of a process.
Yes.
And part of that process might be sitting in front of a number of people who are going to decide whether you're worthy for that scholarship. And it even starts before, like you said, your CV and some of these things. And I think this is where certainly what the work that I do, and students need to be aware of this, that, you know, if you get some of these things in order, like your communication skills, like you're sending the right signals with your image, you're already half sold. That's half the work done for you. Not having this actually makes it difficult for people to, you know, decide that you are the only option for that particular scholarship. So packaging yourself and working on your brand and working on your communication skills really is sending a signal to say that the scholarship belongs to
you. And Derek, this is as basic as your body language before the panel.
I'm so glad you mentioned body language. I mean, something as simple as a handshake. Most people take a handshake for granted. But did you know a handshake is one of the ways that you can signal your credibility, signal clearly your confidence, signal things like your charisma. And a lot of these things like body language are not necessarily visible. They're actually something that our brain automatically reacts to. How somebody sits, their posture, their nonverbal. And so if you're aware that you can use these things to tilt the scales in your favor, you have an advantage. It's an unfair advantage, but it's an advantage nevertheless.
Okay.
And not having it is a disadvantage.
So I get into a room with a panel, and I'm a prospective student, and the financial aid office is sitting, because he offers that, he's sitting in that panel, and I come and there's a crowd and I say, hi everyone.
You know, there's nothing wrong with that, Ken.
Okay.
But one of the things, for example, I love to say during my trainings is say, avoid the kawa. Avoid the ordinary. Do
Go around,
something
shake
different,
hands.
do it extraordinary. How many people will have the gumption, let me use that word, will have that clear vision to be able to go and shake the hands
Of everyone in the room.
But that gives you an advantage, because that skin-to-skin contact actually is sending a signal to the people who are making a decision. So equipping yourself and being aware that you can use some of these tools rather than just doing a blanket highs, hellos, how are you, versus going there and introducing yourself.
Works for you.
Yeah,
properly.
introducing yourself.
What is the proper introduction? I'm a student, just come before a panel of, let's talk about USIU because it's here.
Sure.
What would be the proper introduction?
I would simply come up to Mr. Wilson over here and say, good morning, sir, or good morning, Wilson. Actually get his name. It's very important to get the name.
To get the name, yes.
Get the name, first name and last name. Get his name and say something along the lines of, how do you do, or good morning. something like that.
Okay.
You know, not a Sasa VP, otherwise, you know, good morning. How do you do? I'm delighted to be here. You know, again, you can also talk yourself into feeling positive. You know the fake it till you make it? I don't say fake it till you make it. Fake it until you become it.
Okay.
And that, you know, helps with your nerves and helps you gather confidence.
All right. Let's talk about the fact that a lot of us have this perception in our minds that I have to be an A student, for example, Douglas, to get scholarship. I have to be an extremely brilliant or extremely needy student to get. Is it practical, or is it's just something that also determines if you get it or not? Do I have to be an A student, exceptionally bright, needy?
That is one of the perception that many students have, and for that reason they are not applying for scholarship because they are not A students. That is not true. Having an A is an advantage to your application, but there are various scholarships. There are so many categories. There are merit-based scholarships, there are need-based scholarships, there are scholarships for the physically disabled, there are scholarships for the orphans. Even as we speak right now, there is a scholarship for students who they are orphans or they have lost one of their parents. Full scholarship available in the US. So we should look at various spectra into what makes you the best applicant, or what makes you stand out from the other.
So we get this notion that I have to be extremely bright and an A student in order to qualify for a scholarship. We have to get that out.
We have to get that out.
Okay.
Yes, but that does not mean that you should have a D.
Or sit and wait and know that you will get the scholarship eventually.
That should not be the case.
Okay.
There are so many areas. They look at your academic performance. They look at your involvement with the community.
Okay.
They look at your academic goals. They look at what you want to do when they give you that scholarship.
Okay.
So you have to prove that by giving you that scholarship, then they are giving you an opportunity to make a difference in your country or to make a difference in your community. So it goes beyond just having academic excellence.
Okay.
So there is excellence in various areas in life.
Okay. What bothers me, Douglas, is the availability of this information. How available is this information?
This information is available. As Mr. Kumba said, they put the advert on newspaper. I saw mine on the newspaper. Okay. And I took a picture of the page, and I gave it a try. But I did my best, and I prepared for it. But then again, we have internet. Internet allows you to access any scholarship from anywhere in the world. We have people with smartphones. And wherever you are able to search. But then again, when you go to the internet, it is a junk. There are so many scholarships. Some you are qualified for, some you are not. You look into a full scholarship, and when you look at the eligibility, you find it's available for Nigerians or Ghanaians.
Only.
Yes. So what we do in our company, we are able to look for the scholarships that are available for Kenyans.
Okay. Sort of you match.
Yes.
Sort of, I want this, so you match
Exactly.
what I want.
Exactly.
So that's what you do. But before we know of your existence, there is something else we need to do. I will talk about that, but let me bring back this to the school. So the students make their applications.
Yes.
You have preset requirements. You analyze them based on a specific presentation. You have particular kind of a person you're looking for. How does it happen?
Ken, there are many applications that come. And again, there are many requirements that are there for each and every scholarship or financial aid program. When we put up the advert, we put in we put in the advert the mean grade that is required. And let me say this, that having an A does not mean that you will outrightly get that scholarship, no. Because it is a competition. Like for the full USIU scholarship, once we have put up an advert, the interested candidates apply, and then we go through the write-ups, because we have the background information that the applicant must write. We are telling them also, support your background information, give supporting documents. If you tell us that you are an orphan, that means that you don't have parents, maybe they have passed on. Give us copies of their death certificates. If you are saying that your sponsor is, the person that was supposed to sponsor you, your guardian, is retrenched or has lost his or her job, give us that dismissal letter. Give us also a bank statement to show the family cash flow that that proves that surely there was something that affected the family cash flow that you can no longer now.
This is for the continuing students.
Also for the coming freshmen, you have to provide that information, that proof that, one, you are needy. Yes, we are looking at the grades, but again, we are looking at the level of need, because we want to give this scholarship to the most deserving candidate.
I know institutions have gone to an extent of employing private investigators to check out the information you provide.
Yes.
So when the information doesn't check out, if I made my story very juicy, for example, I exaggerated my story so much, it's true that I'm complete orphan, but I exaggerated it so much. I have a line of uncles and aunties who can still pay and who have agreed and can pay, but I exaggerated and made it look like I cannot completely. In that case, what happens? Because that's dishonesty.
You know, the best thing at our place is that we have a committee of people that has put in place. We call it a financial aid committee that vets all, goes through all the applications. We identify those that we deem to be needy. Then we also, the university has given us it has been so gracious that it has given us the opportunity to call. We can call back to the village where the candidate comes from.
And talk to the chief.
Talk to the chief. Also, the one thing that they don't know is that we have this opportunity to call back. We can talk to the parent, we can talk to the former school, the high school, because we also need a recommendation from the former high school. So we get all this information. After we have gathered the information, the financial aid committee also briefs the information that the student had given us and what we have now gathered on the ground. Then the committee makes a decision whether this one is eligible to be called for the interview or not.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And the reason I asked that question is because, Derek, we have artificial image and natural image. This is just Derek, you know. This is just Ken. This is just Wilson. And then there is this image that comes to you, and you're sitting and you're thinking, no, that's not you.
Yeah. You know, it strikes me that somebody who would go through all of these machinations to get a scholarship that they don't deserve, I think would be better served spending their time and resources in investing in themselves. So let me just put that out there. First of all, it's sort of lining up fake uncles and aunts and all of these sorts of things. But to your question, Ken, we're talking about authenticity here. Absolutely, authenticity is the core of having a great personal brand. We can look at you when you walk into that room and you're not who you are. Now, having said that, a lot of these skills that I talk about, you can add them onto yourself and they can become, to use the cliche, part and parcel of who you are. But at the end of the day, we're looking for somebody who's authentic. And for me, authenticity comes out in your level of, say, enthusiasm. And enthusiasm is not just you speaking loudly, but enthusiasm in the way that you carry yourself, in the way that you communicate, in the way that you use your body. Secondly, in having some sort of pride. And when I talk about professional pride, so your CV is in order. The way that you have arranged your affairs are in order before you come before that particular committee, in this case, or, you know, obviously going for that particular scholarship. And then thirdly, authenticity comes from consistency. so that there is something that we see about you that is the same, whether you're in this sort of setting or you're in a different setting. Ken, I just want to add something here. I'm involved in an organization with a gentleman by the name of Dr. Julius Weche called ACAD Africa. This is a small plug to him, and he does some great work. He actually, talking of scholarship opportunities, has 20 scholarship opportunities available. These scholarships are available primarily for students who are going into the fields of engineering and science. He runs a program called Mentoring Future Engineers with Kenya Power, and they will have a seminar on the 29th of November to the 2nd of December. So people can get in touch with me and I'll link them up with Dr. Weche, talking about those scholarships. But coming back to packaging yourself, I think that's why I'm here, about being able to make yourself available for these particular scholarships. And actually, like what my brother over here said, Douglas, you know, you can't expect these things just to rain down upon you. You have to go to the internet, which is the democratization of information. It's click away at a button. You don't have to be like back in the day when we were looking for scholarships, when we wanted to travel and we had to go to the American embassy. So actually going to the internet and using your own sort of resources and using your sort of own resourcefulness to see what scholarships are out there, and then using the services of his wonderful organization to help you perhaps refine which scholarships you are best suited for. Okay. But at the end of the day, it is about investing in yourself. I mean, I truly believe God helps those who help themselves.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, Douglas, I stopped you because I wanted this to be a really solid discussion on such and much. If I'm unable to identify what exactly I want, that scenario comes to play in your office. What happens? I come and introduce myself. I tell you, I want to be this. I am unable. However, I understand you can be able to do it. So what goes on from there on? Because you now have to do it for me.
Number one, I would like to say that you should not have one option. You should have a plan A and a plan B.
In terms of what I want, or in terms of where I want to achieve what I want?
In terms of, in case you don't get what you have,
okay,
what you want, what is the available option? I must say that there are scholarships that are open at that point that we are discussing. But if it's not available, it does not mean that it will not be available in the near future. So what we encourage those who visit our offices to keep checking. To keep checking. We keep updating our database, and if it's not available today, it may be available tomorrow.
Oh wait, you also put this information out yourselves?
Yes.
You put it out there?
Yes.
All right, okay.
Yes, yes. So once in a while I put it on my Facebook or the company Facebook page, what opportunities available at that particular time. And even as we speak now, I have an example I will be able to share with you of scholarships that are currently available. And a master's, and undergraduate, and PhD, and they're full scholarships. Perhaps a few families are looking for scholarship right now as we speak, and they don't know where these scholarships are available.
Okay, so you get this information and get it out there. So someone has to keep on checking.
Yes.
Then they check and they find. What happens?
When they check and find, they have the option to apply by themselves, or they have the option to seek our assistance.
Okay.
So if you
what is the difference between me making my own application and seeking your assistance? Because that's where professionalism comes in.
Exactly. Our program is a preparatory program, and in our program we train you to package your application to write a competitive essay, personal essay or personal statement. What are the basic components of an essay, and what will sell your application? Because you realize that when you're applying for a scholarship, the panel, they have not interacted with you. They don't know you. So the first interaction is reading your essay to know who you are.
Okay.
So that backed with the documents that you have attached, give them an overview of you as a person, and that enables them to call you for an interview or the next stage,
All right.
depending with the, the criteria they are using in the process.
I'll stop you again. Preparatory, to me, sounds like this is not a one-day affair. I don't just walk in, pick, look at the internet, find a scholarship available, and I apply.
No, it doesn't happen unless you're already prepared and you knew it is available. But if you realize the opportunity at that time, then we do a training on how to write a competitive essay.
Okay.
What documents will give you an added advantage over anybody else? Sometimes, for example, certificate of good conduct. These are some of the things they may not mention, but
they're
they're
necessary.
important. They are very necessary. What gives you authenticity or some gives you, what makes you unique? When most people apply for a scholarship, it's most likely that they have already met the basic criteria. But the person who will win the scholarship is the person who stands out in terms of, something that makes them different.
Okay.
Something that is more positive about them.
Okay. Okay. I don't know why they overemphasize on the importance of what they're giving you to the community. I don't know. Perhaps that's one thing that strikes me, Derek. Why do these organizations insist on what you bring back?
Well, I think it's generally the way that the world is going today. We live in a world increasingly where everybody's looking out for themselves, looking out for number one. Clearly, you just have to look at the headlines in the dailies. So they're looking for people who are going to be, I think, more civic-minded, who are going to be able to enrich and help and enhance their communities. And actually, for a lot of these scholarships, especially in Asia and in the Western world, that is an exceedingly important component, because business these days is about giving back. It's about CSR, it is about social responsibility and that sort of thing. And that's the sort of students that they would like to attend the universities. I just want to follow up a little bit on what you said. I love the words that you used in terms of standing out and being unique in terms of your essay. So that essay is the first glimpse of potentially a candidate that we can award the scholarship to. You then will face this panel in person. You still need to be unique. You still need to stand out. You still need to sell yourself. So they have your essay, they've brought you in. Now it is up to you not to go there and be like everybody else. And so what will make you stand out? And that's where I think a lot of these skills that I help people with will come in handy.
All right.
Yes.
What you say reminds me of something that is doing rounds in the social media. A panel is sitting and someone goes for an interview. I know a lot of people have seen this. Then you're given a piece of paper and told, write anything on that paper. It's a big challenge to everyone. So you begin thinking, what do I write? Because it's blankets, a blank paper. Yeah. You're told, write anything on that paper. Yeah. Majority of the people wrote, I love you guys. I think you guys are great. I hope I get this. And then no one got the job until the last person who came and wrote anything. So he just wrote anything because you following instructions. I'm heading to this following instructions, Derek.
Yeah. Yes. And I mean, a lot of times.
Yeah, I'll get to you.
Those questions are designed just to see how analytical you are. How you put things together. Something like that is a little bit of a trick question. But I think a lot of the times, decisions are made, first of all, pretty quickly. You'd be surprised. Instinctively, subconsciously, even though we might sit there and we're talking for half an hour, in less than 2 or 3 minutes, the panel has already decided
the first 2 or 3 minutes.
This person is going to get that scholarship. So you have to be able to, obviously, first impressions and that sort of thing. That's where the packaging comes in. But a lot of times they're also looking for, when we talked about authenticity, your personality. A lot of people want to give an answer that they think the panel wants to give. And then that is not authentic. Be yourself. Obviously, don't be yourself to the point that it is detrimental in terms of not having being aware of some of these things. But a lot of times they're just looking for somebody who is authentic, who is natural, who is themselves, and who is honest.
Okay.
At the end of the day, that person, I think, is deserving of a scholarship versus somebody who seems a little bit more manipulative.
All right, you wanted to add something here.
You know, Ken, you find that an applicant has written a beautiful background information. If you go by that, definitely that candidate deserves to be called for an interview. When that candidate comes to an interview and you pose the first question, just introducing him or herself, telling us maybe the experiences that he or she has gone through,
Which are already captured.
which are already captured in the background information. Then you find that this person is telling you totally different things. They are not like matching. Whatever information they are giving you is totally different from what they have written. Then you wonder, who wrote this
for you?
Information and what are you telling us?
Okay.
As you go on probing that candidate, maybe you come to extracurricular activities. What they did while in high school. Did they take part in community service? Did they take part in school sporting activities or like clubs? You find that they have written maybe the clubs that they took part in or the sporting activities that they took part in. Then you will find that when you are probing more, you find that the student does not mention anything about it. So you wonder, this information that we have here, does it really match with what the candidate has is giving us right now? And that now, that is what prompted us now to be going back the high school to inquire whether the information that they have given us is the correct information that the school will give us.
Right.
And again, you'll find that when we are telling them provide proof that you are needy, you will find that somebody gives you a story that does not really go hand in hand with what he has or she has said about the sponsors. So you find many candidates would want to come with the choosy story that maybe using that story we are going just to award the scholarship.
On the
but
face
it is more neat.
Okay.
We probe a lot.
You probe. Because I wanted to ask you, I know you want to interject, but I wanted to ask you as soon as you speak to tell me, what if I package myself in such a manner and yet it's not true? But the truth is also out that I'm indeed needy. I just wanted it to look a little bit juicier than it should be.
That was quite interesting regarding the essays. Number one, if you fake a story, it shows you are not authentic, and it shows that you are unethical. So it's a disqualifier in itself. Yeah. And this is what makes the difference between an academic essay and a scholarship essay. Academic essay can be imaginative, it can be creative.
Yeah, exactly.
They're assessing your language. A scholarship essay is your life story, your background, the challenges you have overcome, and your goal in life. So it's a real life story that you should be able to demonstrate when you appear before a panel of interviewers. If it's backed up by documents that you have, or is something they can follow up and be able to testify that this is indeed what this person is.
All right. Let's take a call and then come back to you, and then I can go to Derek. Good morning, Peris.
Good morning. How are you, Ken?
Oh, very fine. Speak to us.
Yeah, my name is Peris, watching from Nairobi.
All right.
Wow, just want to congratulate you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, the discussion is wonderful. Actually, I've been looking for scholarship for the last few years.
Okay.
Yeah, and I've never gotten one, so I am watching, and I'm happy for you guys.
All right. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Peris. She's just one among, trust me, so many people. But just give me your take on that. What if the information I have given is a little bit exaggerated, obviously to score points, but it's true that I'm very needy. It's just that I had to package it in a flowery manner to convince the panel. Do you still aware of the basis of, yes, you are, you told us this, but we understand because we've done our background. Probably it's even worse than what you told us
Exactly.
here. Yes.
What happens is that once we have gathered the information, yes, you exaggerated in giving the, in your write-up, and you have gotten the opportunity to be called for or invited for an interview. Now it is now your responsibility to convince the committee, because it is a collective decision that we are going to make. It is not an individual decision.
Okay.
After the interviews, we now remain in the room and now give like somebody gives his or her own perspective on the applicant. Then we all agree on the final decision. Is it worthy giving this student this scholarship or not? If the committee decides that yes, it is worthy, why not? We shall give it.
Regardless of what you stated.
Exactly. So long as, yes, you exaggerated, but the truth of the matter is that you are dearly needy and you have performed well, you have presented well to the interviewers. The way he said it, that you are unique. You are one out of many that came out on top by giving the story the way it required to be given.
Okay.
And the committee decides it is.
It will start. Your application will start.
You know, Ken, I love stories. In fact, when I do my communications training or my public speaking and presentation skills training, I spend quite a bit of time on working on stories. You know, there is an 11th commandment in the Bible. We all know the 10 commandments. The 11th commandment is thou shalt not be boring. Okay? It is a sin to be boring.
Exactly.
So how do you become interesting and unique? Stories are integral to human civilization. Now, as far as exaggerating a story for the purposes of getting a scholarship, you have to use your best judgment. But
Exactly.
in the moment when you are standing there or sitting there in front of that panel, you have got to sell yourself. And by golly, if that means giving your story a lot of color and oomph, so long as it's true, I don't have a problem with that.
Find a way of setting it.
I mean, you can't be like Wikipedia, boring.
People start sleeping in
To be live.
Yeah, you have to be lively in it. All right, we have a few minutes on the clock, about 10 minutes? Yes, about 10 minutes. For me, the do's and don'ts, because you'll tell us about the do's and don'ts in the application. But for me, the do and don't will be utmost good faith. Be honest with yourself first and before the panel. I don't know what yours will be.
Number one, and this is what most scholarships require of you, that you are able to demonstrate and justify that whatever you have written is true. So number one, when you think of applying, you should be able to gather your documents. You should be able to gather your testimonies. You should be able to have recommendations. And recommendations are very important because they are a testimony that what you said is right, and that it comes from a third party.
Okay. I think because this will, I'd like to do this, the last part, the do's and don'ts. Let's finish with the callers and then we proceed, right? All right, let's start with Rinda. Rinda, talk to us.
Hello.
Oh, Linda, it's not Rinda. Linda, good morning.
Morning to you. How are you?
Sorry for mispronouncing your name. Derek will kill me for this. We are very well, thank you.
Oh, hi. I am just enjoying the show. I've been looking for a scholarship for a very long time. I've done my undergraduate in education, and I wanted to do my scholarship. Maybe I get a scholarship in international relations, which I've tried, but none of it has gone through until I've just applied for USIU and I've got a chance. But for my graduate now, what about maybe when I want to do my PhD, will I maybe get,
all right.
That was my question. And what's the procedure? What am I supposed to do so that I can secure it?
Tell me, Linda, of your experience. Where have you been looking? Where did you, for example, look for this information?
I've tried to Ohio University in the United States. I've tried the Strayer University.
Wait, did you apply without them advertising, or they advertised and then you applied?
they advertise and then I apply.
Okay, so you applied. All right.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you. And we have another call.
Yeah, hello.
Hello. Good morning, Kevin.
Good morning.
Yes, proceed.
Ken, I have a question.
Yes.
I have applied like hundreds and hundreds of them, but I've not gotten even one.
Okay.
Yeah, I was asking how can I get like to talk to them personally for them to help me write an essay.
Okay. Specifically, the question is to who?
The man in a red tie, I've forgotten his name.
Oh, Douglas Owino.
Yeah.
All right. He had the question, you'll answer. That's all, Kevin?
Yeah, that's all.
All right. Thank you, Kevin. And the last caller? We have Wycliffe from Mombasa also. Wycliffe?
Yes, I'm working from Mombasa.
Yes, Wycliffe, proceed.
Yes. Okay, this is my question. Okay, I did KCC last year, but I got a C plane.
Okay.
But is it that if you get a grade like a C plane, you cannot apply for the scholarship? Is
Okay.
it for certain students who got maybe B plane and above or something like that?
Who can get scholarships? All right. Thank you, Wycliffe. This is a question we had answered earlier. I think Douglas answered this question. And scholarships are not only for the A students or the very bright students, but they're merit-based scholarships. There are a lot of things they look at. So as you answer, as you tell me the do's and don'ts, you have two questions. One from Wycliffe, who's our last caller, and obviously from the gentleman also from Mombasa. I just forgot his name. Yes, proceed.
There are three questions. There are three callers. The first caller, Linda, she asked. She said she has background in education and she has been looking for scholarship opportunities. Number one, and that will also answer some of Wycliffe's question. Number one, each scholarship has a criteria, and some are very specific. For example, EABL or USIU scholarship, they are very specific. A candidate should have a minimum of B plane or a B plus or a B plane in English, and there are specific criteria.
So they will not bend at all.
For in that case, there is no debate. If you have a C, then I mean, it's outright decided. But then again, there are scholarships that are I mean, they give you the allowance to just have an average academic performance. But then they are looking at other qualities that you have that may make you a preferable candidate. And then again, the openings. I mean, the scholarships, some of them have very soon deadlines. For example, some are open until maybe end of December, and candidate should evaluate themselves against what is required. What do they have, and what are they asking for? So before you apply a scholarship, first of all, you should be qualified. You should meet the minimum criteria that is listed or that is indicated in the call for application. So if for example, most United States scholarships and Canada, they may require you to have English proficiency. They know very well that you are from an English-speaking country, but they want you to demonstrate or they want you to have sat for that exam. So if you don't have that exam, of course you are limiting your chances of winning the scholarship. So now, if you have the minimum criteria, and then now an A student might have an added advantage compared to a B student.
Okay.
Yes.
Let me just add to that. I find a lot of times when you have people applying for things like scholarships or even jobs, people use a scattergun approach. You apply for everything and hope maybe one will fall through. I think you need to be a bit more strategic than that. You know, use the shotgun approach. Look at that particular scholarship, look at all the criteria, and see whether you actually are eligible for that. I think you increase your chances rather than applying for everything and hoping one falls through.
It's very true. I meet a lot of people in our profession. We meet a lot of people and they ask you, how did you make it? What can I do to do this? Then the first basic question I ask, do you want to be a journalist or do you want to do what I do? Then they say, I want to be a journalist. Where do you want to practice? It says, anywhere. anywhere I get. Then I tell them, no, you will never get a job by looking everywhere. That one is something, so that supports what I usually say. But I want to conclude, so I want you to go to the do's and don'ts, then I give it here to Wilson, then we can conclude with Derek. Your do's and don'ts, yes.
Number
Finally,
one, do's or don'ts.
Don'ts.
Do not apply for a scholarship that you're not qualified for.
Hoping that
Hoping that
that
you'll
no one
get.
will apply, so you are the only one who will get it.
Again, do not apply if they have indicated that you must justify that whatever you have written in your essay is not true. For example, if they're looking for orphans, you should be having your parents' death certificate or something that can justify that.
Okay.
The do's, have a database of available opportunities, keep on collecting them, and that applies to those who are currently in school. For example, even the students who are sitting for their KCSEs. Have a database. Keep on checking and tracking what scholarships are available at what time.
Okay.
Yeah, some are available in March and what have you.
All right.
So with that, make a prior preparation, because this is where we fail. People don't prepare for application.
Okay.
In any, I think this is the basic rule in all sectors in life. If you are going for marathon, you must prepare, and you must invest your time in preparation. So prepare. When the opportunity comes, make a solid application. That boosts your chances of winning the scholarship.
And for me, one more thing that you didn't add, seek professional help if you
Seek
know you can
professional
have it.
help.
All
Thank
right, Wilson, we have about 2 minutes on the clock, so we have to really do this fast.
Okay, one, for the caller who has a C, that does not mean that is the end of the road for him or her. That means that the journey has begun. This person can join a university by going through the pre-university, then joining the university, and after joining the university, he will enjoy the financial programs, financial aid programs that are offered by those institutions. There is no discrimination. Number two, we are saying that do not seek, do not ask someone to write an essay for you. Write that essay on your own, because you are the one who know yourself. You can, if somebody writes, that person will tell his or her story, not your story. Okay. So seek guidance on how to write, but write that story, yourself. You should not just apply anyhowly for the scholarships. Identify, like I always tell students, mostly those who are going for master's programs, identify the institution that you want to apply for admission in. Whether local or international. Then look at the scholarship opportunities that they have. Then after that, apply for those scholarships. Just don't apply for anything. You will get anything.
Nothing. Okay.
If you want to apply for that. Okay. Finally, what I want to say is that maybe this is a challenge to all private universities. Design many financial aid programs, assist students. At USIU, we have 24 financial aid programs cutting across. We have full USIU scholarship, partial scholarships. We have diversity scholarship that takes care of those who reside from slum areas, children homes, arid and semi-arid areas, those who are physically challenged. So what we are doing is that design many financial aid programs so that you can help
as many people
as possible, because needy students are there, many, whether they are in the institution or whether they are planning to join those institutions for higher learning.
All right, and finally, Derek.
I have 2 do's and a don't.
Okay.
First, do remember that this is a hyper-competitive world that we live in, whether it's applying for scholarship, jobs, and things like that. Nobody's entitled to anything. Just because you qualify for that scholarship doesn't mean it is going to be handed to you. Therefore, you do need to have these strategic communication tools that I've been talking about, like soft skills, personal branding. Do invest in yourself. They will help you and help you stand out. True. And finally, don't look at them as a nice to have. It'll be nice to have those things. Look at them as a must have in this world.
All right. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Derek Banga, communication consultant. Douglas Owino is also a consultant and founder of Scholarship Academy Africa. And lastly, Wilson Okomba, the financial aid officer at United States International University.
He never told you that he got a scholarship for
He told me as a story, but he didn't say it here. He told me. He told me.
Let me just quickly add, I'll be speaking at a conference at USIU today, this
All right.
morning.
Oh, okay. All right.
We'll grab a ride together.
Together. All right. Thank you very much. Asanteni sana for speaking to us this morning. As always, thanks very much for watching AM Live.